That's very important. Don't just jump out after, once you think you've figured it out. Stay till the very end of this webinar, and I promise you, as long as you take action, you have some major changes coming in your life, okay? So first, back to why you're struggling to manifest what you want. Even after reading all these books and visualizing and, trying law of attraction systems and all that stuff, here's the thing. Both Robert and I can give you the most amazingly powerful method and coach you for an hour daily for the next 3 months. But guess what? Nothing would change, because the way your brain thinks is not congruent with success at all in all areas. Otherwise, you'd be successful by now. You'd have the money, you'd have the love, you have that health, happiness, success, peace. You'd have it all, but you don't. So that's the bad news, all right? The good news is that you can change all that with the one thing. You see, your reality is controlled 100% by what your brain tells you. You control what your brain tells you by the thoughts that you feed it daily. Unfortunately, 99% of us feed it mostly negativity, for as much as we may think that we don't. This is subconscious stuff, okay? If you're easily defeated and mostly feel like your life is a struggle, then that's your reality, because that's how you've trained your brain to see things based on a long history of struggle. And when your brain predominantly thinks discouraging thoughts, well, your life stays discouraging. Thomas Edison didn't get the light bulb right the first time. Some of you guys have probably heard this. It took him over 10,000 tries before he got it to work. Now, if he thought the way you currently think, we would not be having this conversation. We'd all be sitting in darkness, and we certainly wouldn't be on Zoom because there'd be no electricity. Tommy Edison only invented electricity because his thoughts were incorrigibly positive. And yes, he was doing the one thing. And when your thinking is incorrigibly positive, failure doesn't faze you, okay? Same thing with people like Deepak Chopra, Tony Robbins, Oprah Winfrey, or anyone else truly successful, Robert, me included. The only way to escape struggle in any area, guys, is by starting to think certain thoughts consistently every single day, morning till bedtime. Do that for long enough, and your brain chemistry will make a permanent change. And this is important. It starts perceiving the world and how it treats you in a positive way, even when things appear to go south for you. For the record, this is not a space cadet theory. This is proven science here, okay? Ask just about any person who's successful and they will attest to it, or you can ask a brain scientist, psychologist for that matter. And this is important that I tell you so that you know that this is actual stuff that you can physiologically change in your own brain, doing some very, very easy things, which changes your reality. I did it. I permanently changed my brain chemistry, which permanently changed my actions, which changed my life forever. So did Robert. And you can do exactly the same thing. After trying everything else to become more successful, both Robert and I finally discovered the one thing that changed everything. That one thing started reprogramming my brain from that of a struggling person to a successful one. Anyone think they know what that one thing is, that if you implemented it would change everything in your life for the better? Let's hear him. Let me know what you see in there, Robert.
Gratitude, faith, vibration, positive thoughts. I am believing, feeling, gratitude, meditation, perception, absolute knowingness. They're all good answers though.
Yeah, they're all great.
They're all great answers. I am that I am, affirmations, cooking. Trust in the universe, gnosis.
All right. So here it is. Whoever guessed gratitude, you were correct. Now, gratitude changed everything for me. And, before you go, oh, don't worry. It's the one thing that virtually all successful people practice to become and stay successful. Now, some people are born that way, thanks to the way that they're not born, but, their parents raised them. I had to struggle for it. Robert had to struggle for it. It's the ability to live in a near constant state of gratitude. Before you jump the gun here and go, oh, that can't be it. hold your horses, okay? You just entered the rabbit hole and it's gonna go pretty deep. So hang on. Now, gratitude is the most powerful aphrodisiac that you could ever fuel your brain with. As a matter of fact, if you knew how powerful, if you truly knew how powerful the daily practice of gratitude is, your jaw would be on the floor right now. Like if I could open you up to it this instant and show you, you would be floored. It's the closest thing to actual magic that you can get. It's literally like having a Harry Potter style magic wand. That's what I've found.
Well, Togo, let me just say this.
Yeah.
Gratitude moves you from the lower vibrational states of shame and fear and guilt all the way up to the higher vibrational states of enlightenment and love.
Yeah.
And that's where the action takes place.
Yeah. No, it's true. It's absolutely true. And yes, I am going to show you how to use it to change your life, because otherwise it'd be kind of pointless to have this. It's gratitude. See ya. When you do that, success inevitably follows without exception. Okay. The universe is just going to become like a gift box for you. Now, in order to pull this off, you need to follow a very strict but easy regimen, which has 3 parts to it. Okay. If you want, you can get your notepads out, you take screenshots, screen recordings, whatever. Here it is. And this is important. Okay. Because this is the actionable stuff. I'm giving you guys actionable stuff. Okay. And there's 2 main things. I'm going to teach you a 3rd way that's going to lock it in. So make sure you're paying attention, because this is what you came here for. Okay. And if you think that it sounds simple and you've heard it before, try not to use that judgment, because this is what Robert does. This is what I do. If you do this, I promise you, your life will explode. Okay. So every morning, right after you wake up, and every night, right before you go to sleep, have a 5-minute gratitude rampage. Okay. So you want to use a timer on your phone. For 5 minutes solid, longer if you can, list anything that you're grateful for, in your head or out loud. If you do it out loud, it's really, really powerful. Okay. Now, here is the secret brain hack that I've found. I don't know anyone else who does this, and this changed everything for me, because if it was so easy to feel grateful, everyone would do it, right? And what I found when I started doing these gratitude rants, it was frustrating. You don't feel it. You just say things, right? Okay, so here's the hack. Pay attention. Just look around you. Sometimes when I can't get going, I'll start with stuff I see in the room, okay? And the thing is, you have to spout it off fast. Start saying thank you for, and then whatever you're looking at, say thank you, okay? So it could be thank you for the ceiling, thank you for the floor, thank you for my rug, thank you for my bed, thank you for my hair, thank you for my body, my car, my microwave, my coffee maker, and on and on and on and on. Rattle these things out without taking a break in between. It has to happen quickly. Here's the reason. It gives your brain no time to judge what you're doing or throw a negative spin on it. It literally bypasses all resistance from your brain, and your brain is used to being in charge with constant judgments and negative spins on things. As a matter of fact, that's why you're not successful in the areas of your life that you want to be successful with. It's because we can't get you out of the way. The universe already knows what you want, and you don't not have what you don't have because of a lack of visualization. It's because you haven't been out of the way. This literally bypasses you out of it. As a matter of fact, I did it about 10 minutes before we started, because I was feeling kind of like blah, coming down off of coffee and this and that. And I just ran around my house, and I just went, thank you for the fridge. Thank you for that cabinet. And sometimes when you can't think of stuff, just repeat what you just, sometimes I say the same thing 10 times, because the object here is not to feel gratitude at this stage of it. The object is to bypass. You get into the zone, you completely get out of your brain, because your brain will try constantly to get in there with judgments and remind you of things. Thanks for the toaster. Thanks for the bread on the toaster. Thanks for that faucet. Thanks for the rock in my garden. You go off and you say it really fast. And what happens is this: your brain is almost exactly like a 5-year-old, okay? It simply accepts what you tell it as absolute truth, and then it models it, and then it throws it back to you. So when you start spouting off all sorts of things that you're grateful for without letting your brain get a word in edgewise, because you're going so fast, you're not thinking, you're just spouting, it goes, okay, I better start doing the same thing. This seems important because whatever you focus on, starts expanding in your brain. That's literally how it works. This also activates the law of attraction. And this is the cool part. After a while of doing this apparently mindless, pointless spouting off of things, courtesy of your brain and the law of attraction, you will find yourself naturally thinking of things you are grateful for, and you will feel it. It usually takes me about 3 to 4 minutes before this happens, and it feels amazing. And then what happens is, even after you're done, you start thinking about, oh, I feel grateful for that, because after about 2 to 3 minutes of this spouting off, you can slow the pace down. And then when you say thank you for my dad, and then you think about, or your brother or your sister, whatever, and it naturally starts flowing up. Okay. So it's a scientific fact that your subconscious, it can't tell the difference between, you probably heard this before, it can't tell the difference between a real experience and an imagined one. It's like a 5-year-old listening to its parents. Okay, that's your brain. Anything you tell it, anything you think, it believes, and it models back to you into your world. So when you do this rapid fire gratitude grant, you will, as if by magic, start thinking of real things to be grateful for, like how you have legs to walk on, how you can afford food every day, you have a roof over your head, and the law of attraction will start throwing amazing things into your consciousness that you forgot that you're grateful for, and you will inexplicably feel actual gratitude. As a matter of fact, in our marketing group, I'm running a similar group where I'm teaching them the one thing, and we, these people, I coached them, and then this one guy, he came back after a couple of what was it? No, it was 1 week, and he doesn't believe in the law of attraction. He doesn't know what the law of attraction is, and he said it's the weirdest thing. He goes, I started winning golf games. Everything started. I don't know what could it be a coincidence? But it's like, it literally gets you in the zone. When Tiger Woods goes out on the golf course, he's completely in the zone. I don't know what he does before he goes on that golf course, but you better believe he feels absolutely amazing. And that's the thing about gratitude. When you start doing this and you start doing it every day, you start being in that zone. And that is the zone where the universe can finally, because usually your zone looks like this. The universe comes from up here, and it wants to pour blessings into you, but you're like this. It doesn't matter how many more courses you do or how much visualization, because you're so in the way. When you start doing this stuff, it goes like this, because you're more and more and more in the zone, and the blessing starts pouring in, and that's when the miracles happen. You know what I'm saying, Robert?
Well, you open up and you have more things to be grateful for, and the faster that you do this, what happens is that, yes, your conscious mind can reject it, but you're doing it past your conscious mind, is going directly into the subconscious mind. And then you start seeing signs. The reticular activating system is activated. So all of a sudden you start seeing different numbers of prosperity, or different cars, or I don't know how many Lamborghinis you saw before you bought one, but all of a sudden, if you're thinking of a Lambo and you go, yeah, I'd like to be able to own a Lamborghini someday, all of a sudden you'll start seeing Lamborghinis. Yeah. You go, I never realized there were that many Lamborghinis. Yeah. But you'll start seeing them. And that's your reticular activating system now open to that energy of owning a Lamborghini.
Yeah. Yeah, absolutely. It works amazingly. And then, my favorite part is all the magic that starts happening that you just can't explain it, serendipitous moments, and all of a sudden money comes in. You do the same things and you get a different outcome.
It can seem crazy all at times, that all these synchronicities and stuff.
Yeah. One time, before I got steady at it, I got overwhelmed because I started feeling, I was telling my buddy Trevor, I was intimidating. I started feeling that I had this God power that I'd never had before. Literally, I was thinking stuff and it started manifesting, and so many wonderful things. But at the time I was immature. This was years ago. And so I got off it, but that's literally how it gets addicting, guys. Now, the good news is, after a few days, you're not going to have to do these, this rapid fire stuff, because again, your brain, like a 5-year-old, is going to start emulating you until the point where gratitude is who you are. You may think, oh, it's a challenge to do it 5 minutes, to do it every day, but it won't be. You will be high on it and you'll be addicted to it. And, your life will start exploding. Okay. Now, why do you do this gratitude thing first thing in the morning and right before you go to bed? Well, they are both crucial times for your subconscious. Okay. When you wake up, you get to literally set the tone for the rest of your day. You know, you started out with gratitude and that's your day. You set it up for success from the get-go. The last few minutes before you go to bed, you literally get to decide what content that your dream state will have. Equally important. I'm telling you, when you do this long enough, life really starts feeling like a miracle. And if you start veering off it, then crap starts happening again. Not because of anything you receive, see, hear, or experience. That's not where the happiness comes from. Okay. Not because of money or goals that you've achieved, but even though the money and the goals will happen, you know, it's simply because, okay, you get to experience living the way it was supposed to be, you know, joyful for absolute, you know, when you have those days, you wake up and, oh, you're just in a good mood and then synchronicities happen. And then you tell yourself, God, why can't every day be like that? Well, it actually can. And that is when success in all areas of life will literally start chasing you down. Okay. You cannot get away from it. You literally won't be able to get away from it. When you start living in that joyful state, that simply happens due to gratitude, you will find the things that used to be hard become easy. All of a sudden, serendipity and synchronicity will be frequent visitors, lining you up with opportunities you never had or realized you had before. I'm saying this because I'm living it. I experience these moments almost daily now, as does Robert. Now, the reality is that most of those opportunities, they were there before. I was just incapable of seeing them because my brain only fed me negative stuff. So this brings me to the second thing you must do to live your life from the one thing. Okay. So if you wrote that down, this is very crucial that you also write down. Every time you catch yourself thinking a negative thought, replace it with something you're grateful for. And don't worry, I got a brain hack for you there too. Example, for as hopeful as I am about this training, well, the jury's still out whether it will actually work out or not. Replace it with something like, I'm committed to making this training change my life. It's up to me. I will succeed no matter what it takes. That's just one example. But most of the time, you don't want a long sentence like that. Okay. It's just simple stuff. You will be shocked when you start doing this, how much negativity your brain is going to start hurling at you. Okay. I couldn't believe it when I started doing myself. It's as if my only mission in life was to terrorize my life with negative thoughts. And you will likely find the same to be true. Okay. And you're not aware of it because all this negativity comes from in the subconscious. So replace these thoughts with anything positive. It doesn't have to be significant. It can be totally trivial. I'll give you some examples. All right. Thank you that I can pay my rent. You know, that my dog, cat, kid, mom, dad, whatever, you know, fill in the blank loves me, that I have a car, that I'm alive, that I have eyes and can see, that I have indoor plumbing. Thank you for digesting foods, you know, thank you that I'm feeling so grateful right now, so on and so forth. You get the idea. Anything goes. And remember, even if you don't feel it when you're saying the words, it doesn't matter because your brain and subconscious is paying very close attention. Okay. As I said earlier, your subconscious can't tell the difference between what's real and what's not real. It's like a 5-year-old listening to his parents. Anything you tell it, it believes as long as it's consistent. And when you keep feeding it only upbeat thoughts, by doing this, by replacing negative ones, after a while, it gets the message. And from there, it starts doing the job for you, you know, in concert with the law of attraction. So over time, you're going to find it unnatural to think negative. For each person, it's different. For some people, it may take a few days. For other people, it could take a month. You know, we're all different like that. But let's recap, okay? 1, every time you think a negative thought, replace it with a positive one. 2, 5-minute gratitude rant right before you go to sleep and right after you wake up. And here comes the hack. Use the rubber band technique to activate Pavlov's dog. Okay.
Pavlov's dog.
Pavlov's dog.
I think it's Pavlov's law, isn't it?
No, it's Pavlov's dog. Well, it might be. It might.
Okay. I got it.
Yeah, but you basically want to activate Pavlov's dog inside of you. Okay, for those of you who don't know the Pavlov's dog experiment, it was a Russian named Pavlov, and he before he fed his dog, he would ring a bell, and then eventually the dog got trained so that he just rang the bell and then the food came there, but then he noticed that after a while, just ringing the bell, the dog looked at him and he would start salivating. That's the Pavlov's dog technique. I'm going to show you how to do the same thing with your body. I'm going to show you how to make the body police your negative thoughts. And it's so damn simple. All you do is you grab a rubber band, make sure it's not too tight, put it around your wrist. Okay. Let me see if I think I might have one. Oh yeah, here. Got a handy drawer here. All right, I'll give you an example. So here's a rubber band. Okay. Now, yeah, you're still going to replace negative thoughts, with positive thoughts. But what you do, and I personally did this, that's why I know how powerful it is. Every time you think a negative thought, go like this. Ow, that's uncomfortable. Okay. Every single time, okay? What you're doing is you're activating the Pavlov's dog principle. So when I did this, the first day it didn't really do much. The second day when I did it, I noticed when I slapped it, went like that, my negative mind started quieting down. And I can't remember how long it took, but within, I think about a week or something like that, what would happen was a negative thought would come in, and then I would my right hand would head for the rubber band. And even before it reached it, my brain went, no, forget it. And then I started thinking positive. I started freaking out because it doesn't want pain, because it starts, you're training it to associate negative thoughts with pain. What happened eventually was that I didn't even have to reach in. I just, and negative thoughts were getting faint at this point. When the negative thought came in, the first thing that has to happen in order for me to do this is my brain has to make a decision. I'm going to reach for the rubber band. I simply thought the thought, and immediately my brain got super quiet and it brought me a bunch of good stuff. It's really, really powerful. And I highly recommend you do this, because you literally, it's like you're training your body to be like the Doberman pincher that, that hunts down negative thoughts for you. So use that rubber band. It's really life-changing stuff. That was the water.
And get one of those paperboy rubber bands, the old paperboy ones. Those are the good ones.
Oh yeah.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. Just make sure you don't get a super restrictive one, because you'll get this like super red line around your wrist. Do not underestimate the power of all this, guys. Okay. It changed my life as well as Robert's, and it can change yours just as easily. This being said, for as powerful as it is, just like a 5-year-old can be very defiant when you introduce change in their lives, so will your brain be. Okay. This is where you might start to experience procrastination. It might cause you to not follow through, and before you know it, life is back to the way that it always was. Sound familiar, guys?